My name is Lydia Gerard, and I'm a mixed media artist, predominantly ink painting and some installation work. My work began in the realm of Chinese ink painting, reproducing watercolor paintings in the Chinese style, and has really evolved away from that in pursuit of finding something that's more essential to me. I'm someone who's really impacted by space and environment, so my work really tries to create an environment for people to experience for themselves. But I've never moved away from ink or watercolor as the substrate for my work, because I find the medium to be endlessly engaging. Paper and ink might not be the most practical mediums to work in for a lot of artists, and especially artists who are working in installation. But for me, I am just absolutely in love with the softness and the transparency and the way that they interact with light. Color choices for me are really emotionally oriented. So I feel like I'm so motivated by my materials. Just like I said before, I've never moved beyond like ink and, I've never gotten over ink and paper because the materials themselves are seductive. Like they have a quality a sensual quality that I really enjoy. And I think color for me is very similar. It's this kind of, it's like a very instinctive, emotional experience. So if I'm working in really warm colors, there's something about that just feels right to me. Or if I'm working in cool colors, I feel like I could say that they're symbolic, but the symbology or the interpretation often I discover after having created it. I first discovered the shape through diving into digital work. I was interested in how digital work is literally made of light, so I kind of transitioned from ink painting into digital for a time, and I started approaching digital work from a very painterly perspective, because I didn't have a Photoshop background or anything like that. And so what I started doing was blowing up the brushes that you use to create a digital painting to their base shapes. And so the round brush for me became a way to make a crisp shape or an elongated shape. And then I kind of started just coming back to this oblong shape over and over. Not really sure why it was so evocative to me, but after having used it for so long, I'm fairly certain that the reason that I'm so interested in it is because it is symbolic without having any kind of ascribed meaning. I call it a portal in order to communicate about it with people, but as we said earlier, there's not an actual word for the shape. It's not an oval, and it's not anything else. And because of that, when people see it, they are immediately trying to figure out what it is. Even if they don't know, they're trying to figure out what it is. And the conversations that I have with people about the shape are always, it looks like this, or it makes me think of this. And so it really is just a bridge into the painting. And in a way, the word portal it is very applicable because of that. The portalness is kind of that it invites the viewer in and gets them participating in the work. As an adult, I rediscovered movement arts through pole dancing, and it's been revelatory for me to connect with movement, creative movement as an adult. I think very similarly to like my art career, the movement that I chose as an adult for myself, I see as like so significant in comparison to anything I did training growing up. Pole is like, it's amazing in that everyone who does it chooses it for themselves, and it is a movement practice exclusively done by adults. So there's this element of choice and agency in it that's really, to me, very inspiring. But it's also been really amazing to just really get in contact with my body and take up space in a new way. I think that like with my painting being very spatially oriented, engaging with my body and taking up space with my physical self in a creative way has been just like a wonderful expansion of some of those same ideas. And it's also built, or well, allowed me to be a part of a really amazing community that is, you know, really diverse, comes to that movement practice for all different kinds of reasons, you know, from athleticism to sensuality to sex work to like creative expression. Like it's a super diverse community in terms of the kinds of people who do it and the reasons they do it. And yet there is this unifying factor, which is that everybody chooses it, which I think is just really inspiring. And I've had a lot of really dope opportunities to bring these two different creative practices into the same space.